What if God was one of us? Just a slot like one of us. Blue, 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 blue. Yeah, blah, blee, blee, blee.
Do you know anything about God? We know nothing about God. There are no hard facts to support his existence and no real ways of finding any. That is proof enough for me.
You're right. There are no facts to support the existence of a supreme being. If you ask me, I am my own supreme being. I create my own laws, my own reality.
Nonsense! You can't see beyond your noses. The real question is why we are here.
Quantum mechanics. It's based on propositions defined by processes of preparation and observation involving subject and object in a bang and new logic.
Yes, but why are we here?
Creation can be simple.
Simple? Simple that we breathe, that we live, that from my loins I can create another living being. You call that simple.
It is just as if we dropped 2 stones into a pond simultaneously and watched the waves.
Oh, I know.
Listen,
The
all
story
time
of
zero.
we're all dying to live. That thing where you allow yourselves to believe there's no God.
Brothers and sisters, I have seen behind the mind of God, looked out through his eyes, cried out through his tears, silently screaming throughout the void.
God is the nothingness, the vast emptiness, eternity inside out.
I seen God, the unconsciousness, slowly waking up like a child learning about the world, playing with matter like a toy, shaping it according to his mood.
I am not wholly opposed to the presence of a God.
That's what you've been saying all day.
And Einstein's open
I'll tell you why we're here. It's because it just worked out that way. 2 things slammed together. Not unlike something you might do with those lines of yours, and boom, the Big Bang.
You're all cowards, afraid to believe in what you do not know.
I'm not a coward!
We all know the same things. The discrepancies arise because of language and culture. Most of the ideas of science are fundamentally simple and may, as a rule, be expressed in a language comprehensible to everyone. For example,
Planck time.
Gut freezing.
Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
massive vector boson.
Quarks forming protons. It is science. It is logic.
Logic. You know the first thing about logic. You keep ignoring the quantum theory.
You see,
Understand that it comes
if you
down
cannot in the long run tell everyone what you've been doing,
it's some
spiritual level
connection between science.
God is an artist, dig? And he expresses himself through matter and energy. As the artist improves his work, so do God's creations evolve. We exist to comprehend God, like God looking at himself through us. Total emptiness, looking through the mirror at total everythingness.
I see God on his hands and knees, begging forgiveness for his sins of evolution.
See, every human being is like a brain cell of God. And just like some parts of your brain know the truth, some parts deny it.
The void pulled itself inside out, rigged itself to conjure life.
Nuclei formed from protons and neutrons.
If I had a time machine and movie camera, I can go back and record the whole thing. But there has to be light for anything to show up on camera.
Atoms formed from nuclei and electrons.
We are not able to see what happened before the universe.
Physics is not a boring, sterile discipline. It is a rich, profound venture inseparable from philosophy.
Stars and planets formed from atoms.
Being born is like forgetting everything you know. We live to remember it, to make connections, regaining all lost truth as you near death. And when you die, it all comes back to you.
The wrath of God is restrained and sedated, imprisoned in this cloak of human flesh.
The mind of God seeks both supreme comprehension of itself and also annihilation, devolving back to the void, to non-consciousness, anti-awareness. Sort of like going to sleep every night before starting another day. This duality is the source of the conflict of man.
Void had unity, oneness, but it had to touch. It had to hear itself scream. So it ripped itself apart and slowly comes back together like a living jigsaw puzzle.
God, vivisected himself like a surgeon, self-analyzed himself like a shrink, shredded his fleshy past to experience what was truly underneath.
All right, what if I went back to the split second after impact, hit record and fast forward at the same time?
Just pray for your work to find the answers in the numbers, to find God behind the theories.
God, ridiculous! Quantum mechanics is based on objective properties of the objects alone. A piece of matter is a curvature in the space-time continuum. Energy packets travel through space with high velocity, and the first 8 orders of magnitude after the Planck time are called the Grand Unified Theory.
Don't you see that the existence of universal computers and life implies that the nervous systems of self-reproducing patterns can be arbitrarily complex?
But the Popol Vuh says that the first men formed and created were called the Sorcerer of Night, Unkempt, and the Black Sorcerer. They could see and know everything until their god decided that their sight should go only as far as what was near. What a head.
Look, in the first titanic cosmic explosion, the universe began a series of expansions which has never ceased. By definition, nothing we can ever know is outside.
A living system encapsulates a complete description of itself. A living system avoids the paradox,
Adam from scratch.
seeming to inherit
all
by not trying to include the description of the description in the description. Could a computer be alive?
Some
A
foolish
computer
men
could be
declare that
arbitrarily
God created
powerful
the world.
and still not be alive.
God created the
Protein
world.
molecules are
Those are before
strings of
creation.
amino
Enormous particles
acids.
of matter and
equals MC
antimatter were
squared.
formed and
The
dispersed
second
during
law
a
of
frenzy of
thermodynamics
annihilation.
is a statement of
Nothingness was
probability.
sick of being
Odds
nothing.
favor an increase in entropy. Guys, creation can be simple. Creation can be simple.
We are a chaotic, kinetic orgy of pulsating energies. Liquid fire. Violent. Volatile. When these energies undergo alignment, we then understand what it has been doing. Evolving. Playing with itself.
The countless we become I. Like when a whole herd or species has one mindset. We are created in the image of God, and thus experience the frustration of being creator, the loneliness of being the void, and the maturity of learning about ourselves through our work.
God attempted suicide, but couldn't die. God's self-annihilation would change him, not kill him. Man suffers God's dissatisfactions with himself and his creations, and try to wash it away like angry weather.
All these religions attempting to answer questions are just a front for government control of the masses. One holy pattern of thought is the mindset of a nation or race of people. So I beseech you now, children of the multi-faced God, abandon your ways of such blinding, stupefying brainwash. You can't wash away sins with blessed bullshit. The God of the ancient philosophers is dead. Long live the new, improved, heightened awareness, restructured, unrestrained, unrepressed, uncensored God.
Know that the world is as uncreated as time is itself, without beginning and end.
You have a beginning and an end. Aren't we one with the universe, created in its image?
Could nothingness be sick of being nothing? Could it be that consciousness always existed, just in different forms?
We are complex, and we will continue to be more complex.
Science is our obsession.
Truth is our obsession.
Creation is simple. Truth is difficult.
But you figure, how much truth has been mistranslated, miscomprehended, and purposely changed to hide the facts? How much history goes by unspoken or twisted to keep people ignorant of the past?
Now supposing you were God, how would you express yourself? What kind of creation would you tolerate?
What if you were God? What would you paint on such a black blank?